I often thought about this idea. If I'm in a company as an employee and I make a mistake, and that mistake can cost the company money and also clients, of course I won't be. I don't want to do that kind of mistake. Of course, I don't want to risk anything. But if I don't want to risk anything, and with the risk that I'm doing something bad for the company, how can I actually feel safe to do mistakes and to learn? Because learning means taking risks and making mistakes. And
Yeah.
how can I be able to learn from my experience?
What I have found, and this is something that we also seen in some studies that came out of Google, they have found that there are three things that leaders do when it comes to creating this psychological safety at work. And one of them is avoid blaming others, right? So when something goes wrong, and it's not if something goes wrong, it's when something goes wrong, because there will definitely be some things that will go wrong. As long as we try new things, we will fail. So when something goes wrong, what great leaders do, they don't try to blame people. They don't try to look for guilty, to say it was someone's fault or someone else's fault. And they make it so subtle that it's in the language that we're using, right? Instead of saying, Madalena, what did you do? They will say, what did we do and how did it happen, right? So all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it's the we, and it's not you or me. It's the we. It's giving the impression, and not only the impression, like really meaning it that way, that we take responsibility for that action. Everyone in the team takes responsibility. So it's a we. What did we do, and how did that happen, and how can we make sure that this goes better next time, rather than this never happens again, right? Because when I know this is when we made mistakes and we start to now analyze what happened. One of the questions that usually you find in this kind of full tree analysis, or 5 questions, or whatever method you use, one of the questions are, how do we make sure this never happens again? And how can we make sure that you don't fail, right? By not trying anything. You don't try anything, you're not going to fail, right? So that's not even the question, right? So the question is, how can we make sure that we do this better next time? In other words, we will definitely going to fail, but we're not going to fail at the same thing. We're going to fail at something else that we have not failed yet, right? So using that language pattern, with we, how did we fail, or what did we do and didn't work, and how this worked, or how this happened, and what can we do to make it better next time, helps a lot when it comes to not blaming other people.